let's invite up some final reflectors, because that's what we're going to try to do. And Shauna gave us a good metaphor. Shauna, remind us what it was. Let it all go. Let it all sink in. Let it all reflect, knowing it's not going to all happen at once. So the aforementioned Sheriff Fitzsimons will join us. Commissioner Terry Hoffmeister will join us. Dr. Brandy Freeman will join us. Kristen Pendergrass will join us. And Terrence Gordon will join us. This panel is mission impossible to try to capture so much that we have been reflecting on, learning, and sharing. I'd like to have each of our panelists give it a quick go, and then we're going to give our audience another quick opportunity for reflections before getting to the reception. Chief Gordon, you started the day off with us. You've been here the whole day. What are you taking with you?
I'll end the way I started, just not with yelling, but it's all about the human connection. We spend a whole lot of time breaking each other up into different factions and groups just so we can hate each other. And we create all these lines and these mirrors. But I gotta tell you, the lines, they're not just thin, they're illusions. They're not really there. We're all the same. Every one of us is going to eventually struggle with something and try to keep it together. So it's all about human connection. Even in the work that we all do, we can't think of people as issues and cases and epidemics. We have to remember the faces of the people that we're out there serving and the people that we're helping. And when we can inject that into our strategies, our policies, and remember that it's all about people and that human connection, we'll be able to save even more lives.
My takeaway from today, we need, and Terrence, you mentioned it earlier, more gets done out there at the water fountain. Connections. I don't need to know everything, but I do need to know who to call to get the answer that I want. Make those connections. Introduce somebody to somebody else that can make that connection. Use each other. As we learned early this morning, why are we here? Because we care. We really do. Last year, I call it a God moment. On my way home, I get about 40 miles from home, I get this phone call. It's a father. I knew his son. Been dealing with him. And he says, Terry, you got to give me some more time to work with him. I really didn't have the authority or anything else over this young man, but I had the care factor. I told him, I said, okay, so what do you got planned? In 30 days, he's going into treatment. I said, can you guarantee me he's going to be alive in 30 days? Well, no. I said, you can't guarantee me he's going to be alive tomorrow. I said, I met somebody here. I pulled out that card. I gave him the phone number. And I said, please do me a favor. Call it. Make that connection. To my knowledge, this young man's still alive today. Make those connections. Introduce somebody. Go introduce yourself. Whatever it takes to make these connections amongst each of us. That's why we're here. Please do that. When you walk away from here, have somebody's card in your pocket that you can call. Have a friend you can call. Use each other. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I come to this work from the national level. I work on opioid settlement funds for Shatterproof, which is a national nonprofit. and I have been very lucky to be at this conference every year that it's been put on, and Jamie called it unconventional, and I think it's unconventional in the best of ways. It truly is a community that you all have built here. I don't think I've ever seen so many hugs in a conference, which is amazing. Two things I want to call out that Colorado does better than anyone, and Colorado gets a lot of attention for how well they're approaching this, but really, truly empowering people with lived experience, inviting them in. When I say empowering them, like Raquel talking about having a vote, people use those words and they give them lip service, but they don't do it. So I just want to recognize you all for the work that you're doing there. I talk about Colorado all over the country, and really, really want to thank A.G. Weiser for your leadership. Your team is incredible. I don't know if you all in this room know it, but Jamie is a national celebrity, and anytime I get questions about how people, from Kansas or Oklahoma about what should we do about this, I tell them to call Jamie. She's a true leader in this field, and you and your team are you are challenging the country and inspiring the country to do better. So thank you for having me.
So I came today, I came with personal and professional experience. I'm a pediatrician, so I think the thing I will focus on at this moment is really what I took from the session with the students from 5280 High School. Mr. Hayes said something about why does 5280 work? And it works because the students have found that they enjoy the benefits of recovery more than the substance they were using. And then another comment in that session was, if we don't start healing our youth, then it's going to be really hard to heal our adults. And so I think, as someone who cares for kids every day, I think that hit me in a place of really wanting to figure out and work with people in this room to figure out how do we help kids? How do we make sure that we can start earlier, start at the beginning, and make a difference for kids every day?
I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for being here. I've been part of this opioid response from the beginning, and I would tell you, look around the room, and those of you that go to conferences, how many conferences do you see where people are hanging around at the end of the day? Usually by lunchtime they're out of here, and you look at this room and it's almost full still. What I would say for me is, I always get so much out of the people that get up and talk about their lived experience. Just like we just heard, people in my past wouldn't believe where I am now, and people now wouldn't believe my past. I would tell you that, the same is for people in law enforcement, sheriffs and chiefs like Terrence. I would tell you there's a lot of us out there advocating and doing a lot of good work in the communities. Don't categorize us and put us in the same bucket as everybody else, just like you ask us not to do the same with everybody in this room. Because it just makes us helping you harder. We bring so many good things to our community, and I've got so many good community-focused programs in harm reduction and recovery and mental health, and same with in jail. I've got a jail-based team implanted in my jail that works with our patients, as Sheriff Tyler Brown would say. So just remember that as you walk forward, that we don't like labels as much as anybody. And I've been around this camp for a long time in law enforcement, and I would tell you that, don't ever appear to know or think to know why someone might be in uniform in service to their community. They also might have a reason, a personal reason. So I will leave you with that. Thank you for sharing all your personal stories.
A little bit like a Quaker meeting, those of you who feel moved to speak and share your thoughts, we would open up the floor. I think that's Muggsy raising her hand, right? Thank you, Muggsy. No, we got you covered here. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate all that you all have done and provided today by being here and speaking. And I really just wanted to echo what Sheriff Fitzsimons just said there at the end, because you might believe it more coming from somebody who looks more like you. But I'm a firm believer that when we treat anyone based on the group that they belong to, that is bigoted treatment, right? So it doesn't matter if it's somebody in incarceration, it doesn't matter if it's the person incarcerating them. We need to work with our law enforcement, we need to work with our politicians, and I've been talking about this a lot with a lot of you today, that if we're battling this same issue independently, we're just hurting all of us. But when we work together, that's where we make the most impact. And so harm reduction programs are nothing without our supportive law enforcement partners and vice versa. So I just appreciated you saying that, and it's something that I will never give up on. And I know I'm extremely unpopular in the harm reduction circles for this belief, but cops are people too, and we want to work in concert effectively with them. So thank you for that. And thanks for all you do. We love you.
So I just want to say thank you to A.G. Weiser, first of all, for seeing us as people and as individuals, and especially for people who are in recovery and who have not been welcomed into these circles a lot. I also want to say thank you to Jamie, because I know you, and I know that I mirror exactly what Muggsy just said, that a lot of us in recovery come in with this attitude that, oh no, the cops, we're not talking to them. And you guys are making a huge difference in that way, as well as Terry, and thank you for your heart and for sharing your own personal experience with your own family. And I think that it's time that we all have to come together, not just those of us in recovery, but also the family members, and support each other. And you know, Phil. I won't say the rest, but thank you all for making this space available. Jack and Jamie and the entire staff, and it's so wonderful to hear on a national level that this is being talked about, because I love being part of this solution. So thank you all.
Let me give Dave Frank the final word, and we have one more, and then Dave. Yep.
I want to say thank you, Tlazocomati, for this experience. This is my first conference here, so I'm very grateful I got to be a part of it. And something Shauna Levy said this morning really stuck with me. She was talking about how compassion isn't about taking on everyone's pain. It's about staying present so we can remain connected. And I just loved that, because we need more compassion and we need more empathy. And it's so important that we move from blaming and shaming individuals to naming and reframing this as a systemic issue. And we need to do this together and recognize the interconnectedness. So thank you.
Being from the Western Slope, we take people hiking, right? And years ago, I took a friend of mine, I took him up hiking up toward Mount Sneffels. And we were walking and walking and walking, and he was starting to get tired. And he looked and he said, why are we doing this? This is silly. And I said, look back. Sorry. He looked back, and we were at 13,000 feet. The one thing I want everyone to take from this, look back. We've made so much progress. Don't forget how much miles we've put behind us. Don't forget the strides we've made. As A.G. Weiser said, we have a lot left to do, but don't forget what we've done. We have done so much in the last 4 years, and we have the opportunity to do more. Thanks.
If you're a Department of Law team member, can you please stand up? I know a lot of people out there working, but we got some others there. Come on, stand up. Give them a big round of applause. It's a great team effort.